My beloved, come closer now. Draw near to this message with an open heart, for it is no ordinary whisper passing through the winds of time. I speak to you in this moment with crystalline clarity, not to instill fear in your spirit, but to wrap you in the shield of divine protection. What I am about to unfold before you is a sacred revelation, designed not to make you wary of love itself, but to arm you with the wisdom that discerns true covenant from fleeting illusion. There is a vast chasm between suspicion born of wounds and wisdom forged in heaven's light, and heaven always, without fail, chooses the path of wisdom over the shadows of deception. Yes, this person who stands before you, speaking words laced with promises of forever, does indeed want to marry you. Their voice carries the weight of vows yet unspoken, their eyes mirror a seriousness that seems profound, and their plans unfold with a sincerity that feels almost divinely orchestrated. On the surface, the pieces align like stars in a midnight sky, timing perfect, emotion swelling, futures intertwining. It whispers of destiny, doesn't it? But pause here, my child, and listen to me with the gentleness of a still morning. Wanting to marry you does not equate to wanting to honor you in the depths of your soul. This is where the veil lifts, where truth begins to peel away from the pretty fantasies we so often cling to in the haze of romance. I have seen you in your quiet places, haven't I? On your knees in prayer, tears tracing paths down your cheeks as you pour out your deepest longings. I have witnessed the flicker of hope in your eyes as you envision a love that feels safe, chosen, unshakable, a permanent harbor after seasons of storms. Heaven has not turned a deaf ear to those cries, every syllable has been etched into the scrolls of eternity. Yet love, true and enduring love, demands examination in the unrelenting light of truth, not mere sensation in the comforting dark of emotion. And it is precisely for this reason that I have come to you now, like a faithful guardian stepping from the shadows. This person is drawn to you, pulled by invisible threads they themselves have not fully acknowledged or named. Some of those threads are woven from pure affection, yes, but others spring not from selfless love, but from unmet needs echoing in their own fractured heart. They behold your strength, that resilient core you carry like a quiet flame, and they crave the shelter it promises. They admire your purity, a rare light in a world dimmed by compromise, and they yearn for its covering over their own vulnerabilities. Your loyalty, steadfast as the ancient oaks, beckons them with the security they secretly ache for. And your inner light? They gaze upon it and believe it holds the power to mend what lies broken within them, shattered dreams, hidden wounds, restless spirits. But hear me, beloved, marriage was never ordained as a rescue mission. It is a holy covenant, a sacred union of two whole hearts standing as equals, not one burdened heart dragging another into healing it refuses to pursue on its own. Let me be unmistakably clear, for clarity is the antidote to confusion. They are not fabricating every feeling. Their desire to bind their life to yours in marriage burns genuine and bright. Yet their grasp of what marriage truly demands remains incomplete, like a blueprint missing its foundation, and therein lies the hidden peril that could unravel all. They envision marriage as the balm for their inner restlessness, a magical turning point where your presence will hush the chaos that rages unspoken within. They trust that commitment alone will silence temptations they have yet to face head-on, those subtle sirens calling from the edges of their resolve. They imagine a ring on their finger will alchemize their character, polishing away flaws without the fire of discipline. But vows, however solemn, cannot transform what personal discipline has left untouched. Promises, no matter how fervent, fail to heal wounds dodged by the shield of accountability. These are not mere opinions, my child, they are eternal principles, etched into the fabric of creation itself. There is a truth they withhold from you, not out of malicious deceit, but from the raw terror of losing the warmth of your presence if the full picture emerged. And that truth, laid bare in heaven's unerring sight, is this: their heart remains divided, pulled in directions they dare not name aloud. One part of them hungers for holiness, for the stability of a shared path, for the deep peace that comes from aligned souls. Yet another part clings to the fleeting highs of external validation, the illusion of control over chaotic emotions, or the intoxicating pull of admiration from sources that will one day rival the sanctity of your union. They have not fully, irrevocably chosen the life they now invite you into. And love that wavers in its choice will, in time, choose the path of self over sacrifice. I peer into the hidden chambers of their mind, and I see it vividly, moments where they paint a future with you, vibrant and beautiful, filled with laughter echoing through sunlit homes and hands clasped in prayer at dawn. It stirs something noble in them. But then, shadows creep in, visions of what they must surrender, the freedoms they cherish, the old patterns they half-heartedly cling to. And in those instants, resentment flickers like a spark in dry tinder. It has not yet burst into words, not yet poisoned conversations, but it simmers beneath the surface, real and potent. Unspoken resentment is a seed that takes root in silence, growing into thorns that pierce the tender places of trust. They stand in awe of how profoundly you love, how your heart pours out without measure, how your devotion mirrors the Father's own. Yet deep within, a quiet fear gnaws. Can they match that consistency? Can they love you with the same unwavering depth through mundane Tuesdays and trial-filled seasons? Rather than confront this fear in the mirror of self-examination, they hope the weight of marriage will compel maturity, forcing growth they have sidestepped. But heaven's economy does not bend to such shortcuts. Marriage is a divine mirror, revealing what already resides in the heart. It does not conjure devotion from thin air. It amplifies the hidden, exposes the unhealed, and tests the unproven. Now, let me address something more subtle, a whisper you may have sensed but dismissed as overthinking. There are moments when they listen to your words, not with the intent to truly understand your soul, but to manage the flow of the conversation, to steer it away from discomfort. Times when agreement flows too swiftly, not from heartfelt unity, but from a desire to avoid deeper conflict. Moments when affection surges after tension arises, not as fruit of growth or reconciliation, but as a balm against the fear of your abandonment. These are not grave sins of the heart, not betrayals cloaked in smiles. They are, however, red flags fluttering in the wind of emotional imbalance, signals from a soul not yet steady on its feet. This person yearns for the title of spouse, the prestige, the security, the public declaration, before they have mastered the daily responsibilities of true partnership, selflessness in small choices, humility in disagreements, pursuit in the quiet hours. And yet, do not mistake my words for condemnation. I do not declare them evil, nor do I deny their care for you. Far from it. I simply state the unvarnished reality: they are not yet aligned with the profound weight of what they propose. Picture it, if you will. A marriage forged on such unresolved motives becomes a quiet battlefield, not one scarred by shouts and shattered glass, but by the slow poison of withdrawal. Not immediate betrayal, but the gradual erosion of intimacy, like waves wearing down stone. One partner carries the vision alone, fueling dreams with solitary faith, while the other leans upon it, borrowing strength without contributing their own. This is not the abundant life I have promised you. Beloved, your discernment, that God-given gift stirring within, has already registered the pauses in their stories, the inconsistencies that jar like off-key notes, the moments when something felt amiss in your spirit. You were not imagining these, you were hearing truth knocking softly at the door of your heart, disguised as intuition. Trust that inner compass, for it is attuned to heaven's frequency. And there is more, a layer yet unspoken. This person harbors expectations of who you will become after the vows, visions you never signed on for. They cherish your strength now, in the courtship phase, but secretly anticipate that marriage will coax you to soften certain edges, to lower boundaries that protect your peace, to bend more readily to their comfort, to reshape parts of your fiery spirit into something more pliable. They love the light-bearer you are today, yet dream of a version who dims for their ease tomorrow. But love that demands you shrink, that asks you to trade essence for accommodation, is not covenant. It is convenience, a selfish arrangement dressed in wedding silk. I do not urge you to flee in panic, scattering rose petals behind you. No, I call you to pause in clarity, to stand still amid the whirlwind of emotions and let heaven's light illuminate every corner. Heaven holds no grudge against this connection, sparks of potential flicker here. But heaven will never anoint a union constructed on pillars of avoidance and half-truths. If this path proceeds without the surgery of honesty, it will forge you in fires that drain your spirit, leaving you battle-worn. You are resilient, you would endure. But endurance is not the prize. Thriving in peace, blooming in joy, that is the inheritance awaiting you. Here is the divine roadmap forward, applicable whether this union endures or pivots to new horizons. Truth must be spoken, boldly, without hints or assumptions, without the procrastination of later. They must confront the divided chambers of their heart, owning the fragments they expect you to mend. And you, my precious one, must refuse to silence your discernment just to preserve the illusion of promise. Let conversations unfold like surgery, precise, painful, healing. If they embrace growth, diving into self-honesty, choosing maturity over fleeting comfort, seeking counsel and accountability, then transformation awaits. Love can deepen its roots, alignment can solidify like forged steel, and what began shaky can evolve into sacred strength. But if truth meets resistance, if accountability is deflected with charm or excuses, if they rush you past your holy pauses, mark this: marriage would magnify the shocks rippling through you now, turning whispers into earthquakes. I arrive early, beloved, so pain need not ambush you later. You are not forfeiting love by heeding this, you are safeguarding it. Whether with this soul or one yet unveiled, heaven schools you in recognizing safe love, not just the passionate blaze that consumes, but the steady hearth that warms through winters. Do not fear the slowing. Ask the questions burning in your chest. Trust that quiet inner voice, it is not paranoia, but wisdom cloaked in calm. I am your constant companion, never abandoning you to this crossroads. Whatever fork you take, my guidance flows like a river, unwavering. Yet etch this eternally in your heart: love destined for you will never demand you blind yourself to truth just to clasp it tightly. Stay still. Let clarity settle like dew on morning grass. Your next step will emerge not in thunderous clamor, but in the profound peace that surpasses understanding. Let me expand this further, drawing you deeper into the heart of why heaven intervenes now. Consider the tapestry of your life thus far, the battles you've fought, the graces you've received, the growth heaven has nurtured in you. You have learned to love fiercely because you have known loss intimately. You guard your heart not from bitterness, but from the hard-won knowledge that not every open door leads to destiny. This message honors that journey, building on it rather than undoing it. I am here with you now, not as an idea, not as a distant echo, but as a presence that has never stepped away. Even when you felt alone, even when you questioned whether anyone truly saw the depth of your wrestling, I was watching, quietly, faithfully, without interruption. Now, let me open what your spirit has already begun to sense. There are realms unseen to human eyes, layers of reality that hum with intention and consequence. From here, I observe the currents moving around your life. Not all opposition arrives as darkness or destruction. Much of it arrives dressed as opportunity, urgency, even affection. The enemy you face is subtle, strategic, patient. He does not need to push you off a cliff if he can convince you to walk willingly onto unstable ground. You have heard the whispers, haven't you? This is your moment. Don't overthink it. If it's happening now, it must be meant. Heaven wouldn't allow this if it weren't right. These words sound soothing, almost holy. But listen closely, true divine guidance never rushes you past your peace. Heaven does not confuse urgency with destiny. Pressure contracts the soul, peace expands it. That tightening in your chest, that quiet unrest you've tried to reason away, that is not fear. That is discernment knocking, asking to be honored. Come with me deeper now. Let us look, not with judgment, but with truth wrapped in compassion. The person you are discerning is not a villain, nor are they beyond grace. They are human, shaped by wounds they did not choose and patterns they may not yet see. Perhaps abandonment taught them that love is scarce, that if they do not hold tightly, they will lose everything. So they grasp. They accelerate. They secure before they reflect. What feels like passion may actually be fear wearing perfume. Or perhaps ambition drives them, a hunger to be seen, validated, admired. In that inner world, marriage becomes a milestone, a badge, a symbol of arrival. A partner is chosen not only for love, but for how well they fit a picture. A temple is mistaken for a trophy. Again, this is not condemnation. It is clarity. You must understand this: compassion does not require self-sacrifice without consent. You can intercede without inserting yourself into a role you were never meant to play. You are not their savior. You are not their healer. You are not the remedy for wounds they refuse to tend. Marriage, true covenant, is weighty. Heavier than romance. Holier than chemistry. It is not two broken people leaning on each other to stand, it is two whole people choosing to walk together. When wholeness is missing, expectation grows claws. You already feel this. That subtle shrinking when future plans are discussed. The way your independence is spoken of as temporary, your strength as something that will eventually soften into compliance. The way your faith is admired but not carried, praised but not practiced. They enjoy the fruit of who you are, but have not yet committed to planting the same seeds. Covenant expands both people. It does not ask one to disappear so the other can feel secure. Beloved child of light, I am your guardian angel, speaking directly to your heart in this sacred moment. You feel the weight of uncertainty pressing upon you, a quiet storm within your soul as you navigate the delicate dance of love and trust. Pay close attention, not to empty promises or beautifully woven words that shimmer like morning dew but evaporate under the sun. Words can be hollow vessels, painted with affection yet devoid of substance. Instead, attune your spirit to patterns, those subtle rhythms that reveal truth where promises falter. Notice this with the clarity of heaven's gaze. When doubt escapes your lips, does their affection suddenly blaze brighter, like a flame fanned by wind? When you seek clarity on the path ahead, does the pace quicken, urging you forward without pause? When concerns rise like gentle waves, are they met with genuine curiosity, a holy hunger to understand, or dismissed with reassurances that soothe the surface while silencing your intuition? You are not imagining these things, dear one. Your spirit is finely tuned, a divine instrument forged in the fires of eternity. Discernment is not suspicion, it is your sacred alignment with truth, a gift from the Most High to protect what is holy within you. I urge you, take up your journal now, under the soft glow of candlelight or starlight. Write these moments down, not to build a case against another, but to see clearly through heaven's lens. Heaven often confirms not through a single, dramatic sign, but through repetition. What repeats is speaking volumes from the unseen realms. A pattern of evasion, a cycle of intensity without depth, these are whispers from the divine, urging you to pause. Pausing is not punishment, my child. Pausing is protection, a divine hedge around your heart, shielding it from what cannot yet bear the weight of your light. Speak honestly, but with the gentleness of a dove. Invite transparency without the sting of accusation. Let your words be, I sense unrest in the air between us. Help me understand what's happening inside you. Their response will illuminate more than months of fleeting affection ever could. Watch their eyes, their posture, the spaces between their words. Does humility bloom, or does defense rise like a wall? Readiness, true divine readiness, wears the face of humility. It looks like a willingness to seek help, from counselors, mentors, or the quiet voice of prayer. It names patterns without shame, slows down rather than speeding up to outrun them. It embraces accountability, leaning into the light of truth. Growth is a sacred lean, it does not hide in shadows but steps boldly into examination. Resistance, however, echoes differently. It sounds like excuses layered upon excuses, blame shifted like sand in the wind. It masquerades as spiritual language, lofty prayers or prophecies, used to override your discomfort. It cloaks urgency in the guise of certainty, rushing you past red flags. Beloved, heaven sees through every veil. Do not let these sounds drown out your inner compass. Hear this promise clearly, etched upon the scrolls of eternity, because your heart aches for it. If this path falters, you do not lose love, you are being redirected toward truer alignment. Heaven does not subtract without intention to multiply. What feels like loss is divine surgery, removing what burdens to make room for abundance. There is a love prepared for you that does not confuse intensity with intimacy. A love where peace arrives first, like the calm before dawn, and passion follows as its joyful echo. A love where both hearts have faced their shadows before joining hands, shadows of past wounds, unspoken fears, hidden habits. Where honor is not something you beg for, it is the very atmosphere you breathe. I see your tears now, glistening like diamonds in the temple of your soul. Do not hide them. They are not weakness but wisdom in liquid form. They water the soil of discernment, nourishing roots that will bear eternal fruit. Let them fall freely, they are prayers in motion, ascending to the throne room where they are caught and cherished. Pray aloud, even if your voice shakes like leaves in the wind. Align us, or redirect me, Heavenly Father. Let your peace be my guide. This is a courageous prayer, a key that unlocks heaven's swift response. Doors will open wide to welcome you, or close firmly with mercy's hand. Both are grace in disguise. One leads to shared sunrises, honest conversations over morning coffee, wounds tended before they bleed into children and legacy. The other spares you quiet doubts that erode the spirit, emotional labor carried alone, a heart tiring from bearing what was never yours to hold. Beloved one, hear this truth settle gently into the deepest chambers of your heart. Your worth has never been measured by how quickly another human recognizes it. Before breath filled your lungs, before your name was spoken on earth, you were already known. You were chosen in eternity, shaped with intention, inscribed with purpose. Heaven did not rush when it made you, and love, true love, never panics about time. What is divinely appointed cannot be missed, misplaced, or stolen. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not waiting because you were overlooked. You are waiting because something sacred is being aligned. There is a difference between delay and preparation. Delay carries anxiety, preparation carries peace. What you are experiencing now is not heaven withholding from you, but heaven protecting you. Just as gold is not rushed out of the fire before impurities rise, your journey has been paced by wisdom far greater than urgency. The angels who guard you know what your heart can bear, and they also know what it deserves. So take these steps now, not as one trembling in fear, but as one standing firmly in faith. Pray with clarity. Heaven responds to honesty more than eloquence. Speak plainly. Name what confuses you. Name what you desire. Name what frightens you. Say, Lord, I do not want what looks good but destroys me later. I do not want comfort if it costs me alignment. Reveal to me whether this connection honors your design for my life. If it does, strengthen it. If it does not, give me the courage to release it. This kind of prayer does not offend heaven, it invites heaven closer. Then seek counsel, not from the loudest voices, but from the wisest ones. Turn to those whose lives show evidence of peace, discipline, and spiritual fruit. Seek those who have walked through storms and still carry compassion, not bitterness. Avoid advice soaked in fantasy or impatience. Love that is real can endure scrutiny. Love that is fragile fears questions. Wisdom will never rush you into a decision that your spirit is not settled about. If you feel led to fast, do so not as a bargaining tool, but as an act of surrender. Fasting is not about forcing God to speak, it is about quieting everything else so you can hear Him clearly. When the noise of desire, fear, and expectation fades, the still, small voice becomes unmistakable. In that stillness, confusion loses its grip, and clarity rises like dawn. Watch actions more closely than words. Words are easy. Consistency is costly. Time exposes truth without effort. Notice whether presence is steady or occasional. Observe whether care is sacrificial or convenient. Love aligned with heaven does not need constant reminders to show up. It flows naturally, like a river following its course. When something is right, it does not require you to abandon your peace to maintain it. Scripture has whispered this wisdom across generations. Unequal burdens exhaust even the willing. When two hearts do not walk in the same direction, one will always be pulling the other uphill. Haste builds on sand, quick decisions feel thrilling, but they collapse under pressure. Wisdom builds slowly, laying foundations deep enough to survive storms you cannot yet see. Heaven is not impressed by speed, it is honored by obedience. You are not the first soul to stand at this crossroads, and you will not walk it alone. Many before you have paused exactly where you stand now. Some watched their love pass through refinement, through fire, patience, and truth, until it emerged stronger, purer, and more aligned with heaven than they imagined. Others were gently redirected, their hearts breaking at first, only to look back later with gratitude for the door that closed and saved them from years of quiet sorrow. Think of the woman who came to the well searching for answers and found living water instead. Think of the countless lives redirected not by punishment, but by mercy. Heaven specializes in redirection. What feels like loss in the moment often reveals itself as protection in time. Do not despise your caution. This is not fear, it is maturity. Fear rushes. Maturity waits. Fear clings. Maturity discerns. What is growing in you now is wisdom, blooming like a rose in its proper season. Too early, and it would wither. Too late, and it would miss its fragrance. But now is right. Stay rooted in the presence of the divine. Stillness is not inactivity, it is alignment. When you do not rush past discernment, your inner sight sharpens. Like a blade honed patiently on stone, your clarity becomes precise, not reactive. Peace is not the absence of questions, it is the assurance that answers will come at the right time. Joy is waiting for you, not as a distant promise, but as a prepared feast. It is set in wide meadows of peace, not in narrow corridors of anxiety. You will not have to shrink to fit what is meant for you. You will not have to beg for what heaven designed to meet you freely. Know this, you are surrounded. Light goes before you to lead. Strength stands beside you to uphold. Protection follows behind you to guard what you cannot see. Breath fills you from within, steady and alive. You are held by arms stronger than the heavens themselves. Nothing about your life is accidental. Even this waiting has purpose. You are not late to your destiny. You are not missing your moment. You are synchronized, perfectly, intentionally, with heaven's timing. What is meant for you will recognize you in the light. Love that is true does not hide from examination. It welcomes truth, grows under it, and deepens because of it. So rest here. Let peace, not pressure, guide your next step. You do not need to force clarity, it is already moving toward you. You do not need to chase love, it knows where to find you. Your angel remains near, watching with unwavering devotion. You are safe. You are seen. You are deeply, completely enough, now, always, and forever.